Welcome to Essential Money Talks on this beautiful Tuesday in Australia and Monday night in America. Today I have a very special guest. It's my sister, my little sister. And her name is Paula, and she lives in beautiful Utah. And I'm going to have her tell her story. So it was, I think, in 2017 is when I was over there on a trip visiting home, and I helped her create her spending plan. And so, first of all, welcome. And I want you to tell me what your financial story was. We all have a story about our finances. And what was your financial story before you had a spending plan?
I took years to learn. I was a credit card spender when I first got married. So was my husband. We ended up having to file for bankruptcy years and years and years ago. And that taught me that, credit card usage is not the best thing to do. So I've always been somewhat, after that, a good, I would say, budgeter. I always paid my bills on time. But there was never any money left over. I never had money in savings. I never had money for car insurance when it came due, or car registration when it came due, things like that. And so I thought I was doing really well, but then Sherry showed me this plan, and I thought, well, wow, okay, I can actually put in everything that I possibly would need money for, saving for Christmas and saving for car registrations and things like that. And then I found out that I could literally put money into savings where I had never thought that I could before, because I had no control over where the extra money went. I always paid my bills, but I never had control over my extra money. And so when I put it all in the planner and saw that I could put money in savings, then I started doing that. Also, at the beginning, I didn't necessarily trust the planner, because I was always taught that you always had to have like $1,000 cushion in your account just in case, things like that. And so for the first little while in my planner, I'd have like $1,500 cushion in each one of my accounts. And then Sherri started showing me, look, you don't need to do this. Just you can put that money into your savings account and use it for something else.
Can I just stop you there? Do you remember? So the first time, it was after, I don't know, 6 months or something. Paula calls me. She goes, Sherri, I know I'm not supposed to have a lot of money, but I think I have too much money in my bill account. And so we went in, and do you remember how much too much you had that first time?
Wasn't it like $5,000 or something?
It was $5,000. And so she was able to take that out of her bill account, because we only need to keep the right amount in our bill account. And she was able to put it. And I think you paid off your credit card, plus was able to put some money into savings as well.
Yeah. So, we don't use credit cards. We do. We use it to get money cash back from our credit cards here in America. But I never spend more than I've got in my account to pay the credit card back,
And then, do you remember the second time you called me? Probably another 4 or 6 months later. Sherri, I think I have too much. And do you remember how much you had that time?
I don't.
Okay, $2,500. And then you called back again. And this is probably the thing that I help people understand, is it will literally tell you if you have too much money. It will tell you if you don't have enough, but it will also tell you have too much money sitting in an account. We only keep the money for the bills, and it tells you exactly how much you need to keep in there. And you can see and that's it. Otherwise, we get that money and we give it a job. We don't just let it sit there with no job, because if money doesn't have a job, then you end up spending it. So the third time was 1,500. And I think you have it now. I think you know when you have too much money in your bill account now. And so, but that was fun for me to show her. She goes, "Ooh, I like calling my spending planner. She shows me how I have all this excess money I didn't know."
Well, what was doing is I had a certain amount that I thought my paycheck would come in as, and it always seemed to come in a little bit higher. And so it just sat there, added up, you know. And so, yeah, so now that I've got the spending planner, I don't have to worry about that my bills are going to get paid. I was always very scared to put my bills on automatic payment, because what if I didn't have the money, you know? And so now that it's on automatic payment, I only have like 1 or 2 things that I have to actually pay that isn't auto in the planner. And so we've never had savings. And we had 1 year that we had to pay out $11,000 in medical bills just in 1 year. And if I hadn't been able to save, then I wouldn't have been able to pay those medical bills off. I'd still be paying the medical bills. And so now I feel like I'm broke if I have less than $10,000 in savings. You know, I hate dropping below that magical 10,000, because I know how easy medical bills can come at you. You know, coming this summer, we want to buy a truck for my husband, and I know that I've got the money to buy the truck. You know, I don't have to get a loan. Like we're not getting a loan. Yeah. No. And so, yeah, so, I mean, the whole thing, I mean, I felt like I did okay before, but now I can see, you know, exactly how much money is coming in and how much is going out and how much is in my savings. And, you know, eventually Jared and I want to come to Australia. And I mean, at this point, we do have the money. Yes, it would hurt for me to spend that much money.
It's not that expensive.
But, you know, we would have to, because if you want to go to another country, you want to be there for at least 2 or 3 weeks. So you're going to have to save money for, you know, not working, and then the spending of the flights and everything that's there. So, I mean, it's a bigger chunk of money. But now that both of my kids basically are adults, we feel like we can do that. And so that's where we're at.
Put that in your spending plan, and it will tell you even now how much you need to save to make that happen. You can put in, you know, it helps you bring your dreams come true
right.
in your actual spending plan. And so tell me, has your income always been the same?
No, never. I mean, my income usually is the same. I mean, I usually work for somebody, but my husband owns a handyman service. And so we never know exactly what we're going to be getting. And then he used to work construction, and we never really knew exactly how much money was coming in. And so I was pretty good at you know, not spending money until the end of the month, because I was afraid that we weren't going to have the money. So no matter what my husband makes, I still just put so much in from the business into the account and just live off of that. Because you never know, there might be, like right now, he had just had back surgery, so he won't be working for a month. So I'm not worried about it, because I know I've got the money in the business account, because I just didn't spend it just because the money was there. So
So do you find that you are really looking long-term now at your finances as opposed to paycheck to paycheck?
yes, yeah, and I mean, just a couple years ago, I realized, okay, we have no retirement whatsoever. And so I started doing a 401k at work, and I just started out with 5%, you know. And then I actually talked to somebody, a friend of my husband's, and she said, well, I didn't start saving until I was about 50. And what I did is every time I got a raise, I would put that raise into a 401k. And so I'm currently at 18% of my paycheck goes to a 401k so we can get caught up on our retirement.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and that's the
So,
thing is that's what happens is when people get a raise, they basically just increase their lifestyle, their style of life, rather than keep their style the same and put that extra money into retirement or into paying off debt if you have debt to use it that way. Because otherwise, if you get a raise and you just increase your lifestyle and buy more stuff with that money, then you're going to want another raise again. And you're always
right.
going
I
to.
mean, you have to look at it this way, at least the way that I do, is do I want my children to have to take care of me when I'm 65 and need to retire? Or do I need that new car? Or do I need that, you know, stuff? Because I've always, if you ask anybody in my family, what do you want? Well, I get everything I want. Well, then what do you need? I don't need anything, you know? So it's kind of hard to, when it comes to Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? I don't know, you know?
What we want is financial security. And for you, you want to be able to be in your retirement years and not be dependent on your kids.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so what is there a particular feature of the spending planner that you really like?
I find it very satisfying actually just matching my bank account to what's in my spending planner. Knowing that, you know, that it's working, that I can see that. And it also does show me, because I paid the bills before, but I never tracked it as closely as we kind of track now. So I see if a bill went up. So my phone bill, I know how much I put in my planner, and all of a sudden it's $20 more a month. Well, before I'd just pay it and I wouldn't look into why it's $20 more a month, you know? So it allows me to track things a little bit better. So
Just clarify
matching
when she says tracking, we don't track a bank feed into the spending plan. The spending plan is a plan. We create the perfect plan for her finances, and then we get her actual bank accounts to do the same. But on every pay cycle, you'll go in and it will say, you said you were going to spend this amount of money on this, this, and this. Did you? Yes or no? Or if it was a different amount, we alter it. And so basically we're being accountable with what we plan to spend, because we've already put in everything of how Paula was going to spend her money. That was done once. And now it just will say, well, did you do it or not? And you just say, yeah, ting, we did that, you know, or if you need to adjust it, you adjust it. And so that's what she's saying, that she can see that, you know, her wage might have been this amount of money, but she actually brought in more, so she can put in that higher amount. And anytime she puts anything in the spending plan, it recalculates everything. And again, shows her perfect spending year in the future. And so, yeah, so that's a real benefit. Any others?
I just like knowing that I don't have to sit here and spend the time to pay out all my bills. It's all automated. Because I used to spend a lot of time, you know, just writing checks, and making sure that it was there on time, where I don't have to worry about that anymore. I know it's there on time because I've set it up to be there on time.
Know the money's going to be there because your spending plan shows you your bank balance for the next 12 months of your bill account. So you can see the day you pay that bill, you know the balance of that account. You know that there's money there to take care of that. And that's what gives her the 100% trust that she can just automate everything, because her plan says the money will be there on that day in the account when that needs to be paid. And so,
right. So, I mean, I have one daughter that's using the plan, and she does it mostly because she really doesn't quite understand money in a strong way. I mean, she's only 20 and she's still working on it. And she'll call me like almost every 2 weeks. Okay, I got paid, but I didn't get as much as I thought. I'm like, well, okay, then you need to adjust it this way. You need to make sure there's enough in there for your bills. And then if you don't have enough, the whole amount that you planned in putting savings, just adjust it. And then the next paycheck, you can go back and put the same amount into savings. So,
or you just take less spending money that week, if there's only so much, but it's really easy in the plan kit. It just automatically adjusts that.
Right. I mean, we keep her, to keep her on track, we keep her spending money very tight. Otherwise she can just spend a lot.
And it's more than just 20-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. And so what would be, I'm going to ask you to give me some words that describe what it is with the spending plan. Or let me have you do it this way. Why don't you describe words of what it was like when you had a traditional budget? What words that come in regards to how your old financial life was. So just start rattling off some words.
Oh gosh, it was very, it was hoping money was going to be there. It was always, telling my husband, oh, you can't spend more than $20 because I don't know what we're going to be, yeah, because I mean, a lot of people are used to getting the same paycheck every 2 weeks, where I've never had that. And so I pretty much have my whole life financially lived a little bit on faith that, that it was all going to be okay. And 99% of the time it was. But now I have peace of mind. I know that if something comes up, that I've put money into savings for those things that you don't foresee.
Yep.
I don't worry about it anymore. It just does.
Are you now a happy spender? So when your plan says, Paula, it's time to spend, are you happier now when you get a spend because you plan for it? This spending planner helps you save for it, and then you can have.
Yes. I mean, because I'm one of those people that if you spend more than $100, you kind of get a sick feeling in your pit of your stomach. Yeah. but now, like, normally I wouldn't spend money on myself. But now I feel like you know what? I've got the money. I know I've got the money. I can go ahead and do that. Like, for Christmas, I got a bonus at work, and normally it just gets absorbed into the checkbook and you don't see any fruits from it. Well, I bought myself a new leather chair for Christmas for myself. Because I'm like, well, you know, I can do this because I know that the checkbook isn't necessarily going to need it. So I'm going to spend it on myself.
That's so good to do, because if you want anything, you just put it in the plan. The plan's going to tell you whether you can have it. And it's not that it's going to say, no, you can't have it. It just might say, no, you can't have it this month. You might just need to wait till next month, because you know, we can all have anything over time if we have a plan and plan for it.
Right.
And so what would be the words now you would describe how you feel with the spending plan?
Like I said, a peace of mind. I don't worry about money anymore. I mean, the only time that I even worry about money is when I see my husband or I go out and we have to spend $100 on something here or there in our spending bank account. And I'll just say, well, okay, we're getting close to the end. So for the next little while, let's just ask each other before we buy anything. Otherwise the bills are paid for and there's money going to savings, and you know, we don't have to worry about that stuff.
Nice to be able to know that the important things are taken care of, your savings, unexpected things that might happen, and your future, that you're putting money away for that so that you can spend guilt-free on those things. But like you said, there's a bottom line, there's a zero balance in that spending account. And once it goes to zero, you just stop spending. So you've given in the spending plan, we give you an account that has a boundary, so that, because we can easily just keep spending. And it brings great self-discipline and satisfaction to know that you're keeping
well,
in.
And it also makes you think about what you really want. There's a lot of things that I want, but which ones do I want first? You know, like I'd love to get new carpet in my house, or I would love to get LASIK surgery. And it's something that I can put into my planner, and it will tell me, you know, if you do this much, you'll have the money by this time to get what you want.
So, of course, we weren't taught money in school. And people have a hard thing thinking, oh my gosh, you mean to learn about money, I'm going to have to invest a little bit of money. What would you say to how much more time you've gotten back and how much more money you have gotten as a result of having a spending plan? And is it worth it by spending a few dollars to actually finally get a system that really works?
Oh, it's well worth it. I mean, I know a lot of people that just go out and they go to Starbucks every day, or they, you know, they eat out for every meal. And I think, you know, they probably are living paycheck to paycheck because they're doing that. And if they could take that money for just even a month that they would be going out to dinner or whatever, and learn about how to use the spending planner, how much more at ease they would be with money. I mean, I know that society right now is give me everything now, but in the long run, when you do that, you end up with all this debt, and then all of a sudden you can't get anything because you've maxed out everything.
That's what people are feeling right now. It's January, and I've had, you know, a few, because I'm starting a new 8-week course in a week's time. And January, I'm getting lots of interest in the last week or so because all the bills are coming in from over Christmas, all their overspending, or they spent their bill money for bills that were due in January, and now bills are due and they don't have the money because they didn't give themselves a boundary, or they did give themselves a boundary over Christmas, but they didn't keep to it. And so that's just pushed it into what the first month of a year should be a new beginning. It should be a fresh start, where a lot of people are paying for the bad spending choices of the holidays. But to have a spending plan, you can plan how much you want to spend for Christmas next year, and it will be there so that there is no stress throughout the year. You can plan your birthdays. Everything that you want to spend your money on, you can put in your plan, and it will help you make sure that you have that money for that. And
Right.
yeah. Okay, so I want to thank you so much. I've loved our little sessions that we have, and because I know, like, many who have that fluctuating wage, and there's more. And that's the thing, is with budgeting, it's kind of hard. You have to kind of do all the recalculations if something comes in different, if a wage comes in different. Or with a spending plan, it does it all for you. You just put in what you got that way, whether it was more or less. And so it just takes all that guessing away and can really help you have that financial peace, even though things aren't always going to be perfect. And there's many with COVID that, work's just not guaranteed. And I'll just say here, I have COVID. Thank goodness to technology, but I was tested positive about 4 days ago. And so I'm in isolation. I'm lucky that I can work at home. Otherwise, I would be not working. And I'm working just a few hours, and I'll be taking a sleep after this. But we never know. Our income is never guaranteed, but our expenses are always guaranteed. And so we have to have a plan if something happens and that income's not coming in. So thank you so much, Paula, for sharing your story. I know that you'll inspire many, because there's many that have your same story. And again, a spending plan, and it's a bit of investment of initial time and a little bit of initial money to learn how to create your spending plan, and then you will be set. And knowledge is power, and you will recoup anything that you pay in creating a spending plan, like Paula said, in the first month, just because you become very financially aware of your spending, and we help you get the things you really want. And when you have a goal for what you really want, you stop spending on those things that you think you want, or those impulse spending, because you have that bigger goal.
Right.
And that's it. You have to have a why. And even if it's just to eliminate stress of paying bills, that is a big enough why to have a spending plan. Okay, so thank you again. Just a disclaimer, a spending plan goes beyond budgeting. It is not just another boring budget. It is innovative, it is proven, and it's exciting, and it makes money, and it makes partners more unified, because it actually works. Okay, so again, I will see you. If you want information about my upcoming courses, they're online, and we have workshops. Check out my link below. I have a Facebook group, Happy Spenders Beyond Budgeting, and there's reviews of many happy spenders as well on my business page. So check those out, become educated, because knowledge is money. Okay, we'll see you next Tuesday on Essential Money Talks. Thank you, Paula.
Bye.